Here's a Kev comedy. When the western sky's ablaze and the sun lays down to rest, when the curlew starts to cry and the birds fly home to rest, when the full moons are on the rise, satin moonbeams on my face, beauty of the night goes far beyond both time and place. No one's lost who finds the moon or the sweetness of the wattle's bloom, rebirth with the rain in spring or the dingoes howl on the autumn wind. Spirit of the moon, he calls me home. Spirit of the moon, he guides me home. Moon, it draws me to the scrub, is raised in song. Past the winter lilies bloom, through the tranquil billabong, walking on the shadowed leaves that are reflected by the moon, to the rocks and hills and caves where the dingo's pops are born. Who finds the moon or the sweetness of the wattle's bloom, rebirth with the rain in spring or the dingoes howl on the autumn wind. Spirit of the moon, he calls me home. Spirit of the moon, he guides me home. Blazing across the sky in the brilliance of the Milky Way, and I am surrounded by the beauty of every night and every day, walking towards that morning moonset, caress of moonlight on my skin, knowing the freedom of not caring. Why I'm going, know where I've been. Yes, knowing that freedom of not caring. Why I'm going, know where I've been. No one's lost who finds the moon or the sweetness of the wattle's bloom, rebirth with the rain in spring or the dingoes howl on the autumn wind. Spirit of the moon, he calls me home. Guides me home. Spirit of the moon, it calls me home. Spirit of the moon, it guides me home.
a bit of a discussion about introductions this morning, so you can talk of your whiskey and talk of your beer. There's something much nicer that's waiting near. It sits on the fire beneath the gum tree. There's nothing much nicer than a billy of tea. So fill up your tumblers as high as you can. Don't you dare tell me it's not the best plan. You can let all your beer and your spirits go free. I'll stick to me darling old billy of tea. When I rise in the morning before it gets light, and I go to the nosebag to see it's alright, that the ants on the sugar no mortgage have got, and straight away sling my old black billy pot. And while it is boiling, the horses I seek, follow them down as far as the creek. I take off their hobbles and let them run free, then haste to tuck into my billy of tea. You can talk of your whiskey and talk of your beer. There's something much nicer that's waiting me here. It sits on the fire beneath the gum tree. There's nothing much nicer than a billy of tea. And at night when I camp, if the day has been warm, I give to my horses their tucker of corn. From the two in the pole to the one in the lead, a billy for each holds a comfortable feed. Then fire I make and water I get, corn beef and damper in order I set. But I don't touch the grub though so hungry I be. I wait till it's ready, the billy of tea. So fill up your tumblers as high as you can. Don't you dare tell me it's not the best plan. You can let all your beer and your spirits go free. I'll stick to me darling old billy of tea. You can talk of your whiskey and talk of your beer. There's something much nicer that's waiting me here. It sits on the fire beneath the gum tree. There's nothing much nicer than a billy of tea. You can talk of your whiskey and talk of your beer. There's something much nicer that's waiting me here. It sits on the fire beneath the gum tree. There's nothing much nicer than a billy of tea.
Well, I ain't the kind of bloke that takes to any steady job. I drive me bottle cart around the town. A bloke what keeps his eyes about can always make a bob. I couldn't bear to work for every brown, 'cause there's lots of handy things about in everybody's yard. There's cocks and hens all running to and fro, and there's little dogs that comes and barks. We take 'em off their guard and we put them with the empty bottle, oh. So it's any empty bottles, any empty bottle, oh. You can hear that sound for half a mile or so, and you'll see the women rushing to bring in the Monday's washing when they hear us calling empty bottle, oh. Well, I'm driving down by Wexford Street, up a window goes. A girl sticks out her head and looks at me. An all right tart with ginger hair, freckles on her nose. Stops the cart, walks across to see. But there ain't no bottles here, says she, since father took the pledge. What bottles, says I'd like to know. What right have you to stick your head outside the window ledge if you haven't got no empty bottle, oh? And there's any empty bottles, any empty bottle, oh. You can hear that sound for half a mile or so. You'll see the women rushing to bring in the Monday's washing when they hear us cry an empty bottle, oh. Well, I sometimes gives the horse a spell, and then the push and me. We take a little trip to Chowder Bay. Oh, ain't it nice the whole day long, gazing at the sea, hiding of the Tanglefoot away. But when the booze gets into us, and fellas love to scrap, there's nothing like blue metal for to throw. But as for me, I tell ya, nothing quite as good as chucking in an empty bottle, oh. So there's any empty bottles, any empty bottle, oh. You can hear that sound for half a mile or so. To bring in the Monday's washing when they hear us cry an empty bottle, oh. Yes, you'll see the women rushing to bring in the Monday's washing when they hear us cry an empty bottle, oh.
They 1, 2, 3 jolly young fellows came over the hill together. Came over the hill together to have a jolly good spree. And they flung themselves down upon the ground, and each man swore he'd spend £1, and they would have glasses all around. When Jones's ale was new, me boys, when Jones's ale was new, so they called for more pots and more pints and more glasses, and didn't they all get tired as asses, and oh what fun they had with the lasses. When Jones's ale was new, me boys, when Jones's ale was new. Well, the first to come in was a tinker, good Lord, he was no drinker. Good Lord, he was no drinker to join this jovial crew, and he threw his then to settle my tongues are made of the finest metal, oh Lord, how his hammer and tongs did rattle. When Jones's ale was new, me boys, when Jones's ale was new, so they called for more pots and more pints and more glasses, and didn't they all get tired as asses, and oh what fun they had with the lasses. When Jones's ale was new, me boys, when Jones's ale was new. Well, the next come in was a mason with his hammer and chisel to face them. His hammer and chisel to face them and join this jovial crew. And he threw his old hammer against the brick wall, and he said that the churches and chapels might fall, and that would give work to masons all. When Jones's ale was new, me boys, when Jones's ale was new, so they called for more pots and more pints and more glasses, and didn't they all get tired as asses, and oh, what fun they had with the lasses. When Jones's ale was new, me boys, when Jones's ale was new. Well, the last to come in was a barber. He swore he came from Scarborough. He swore he came from Scarborough to join this jovial crew. And he threw his old razor against the brick wall, and he said that the maidens would shave and all, and that would give work to barbers all. When Jones's ale was new, me boys, when Jones's ale was new, so they called for more pots and more pints and more glasses, and didn't they all get tired as asses, and oh, what fun they had with the lasses. When Jones's ale was new, me boys, when Jones's ale was new, yes, they called for more pots and more pints and more glasses, and didn't they all get tired as asses, and oh, what fun they had with the lasses. When Jones's ale was new, me boys, when Jones's ale was new.